Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone today? Let's see, who do we have in the comments? Let me know where you're calling in from and whether you're excited for fall garden or whether your garden has just kind of gone to sleep for the winter. Uh, let's see. Let's give people just a couple of more minutes to join. How many green stocks did you guys buy at the sale? Let me know in the comments as well. And I'm also curious as to whether or not your green stocks have arrived or whether you're still waiting on them. I know that they were hugely backed up because of the amazing, probably better than they ever expected it to perform, warehouse clearance sale. So let's see. All right. All right. I think let's get started. So I was thinking about how to kick off this chat this morning, and I was reminded of a story that I read a while ago. This guy, his name is Diderot. If you guys have heard of the Diderot effect, Diderot, I'll put it in the chat. It kind of reminds me of how the whole green stock thing works, right? So you're excited, you go out there, you get a green stock, you love it so much, and then suddenly the rest of your garden is not looking as hot as your brand new green stock. And then you slowly start to replace things, right? Your containers, and then the green stock comes up with all these great accessories, right? The cute little lid with the little bumblebee and beautiful trellising and perfect insect netting, and suddenly you're getting everything, right? The wonderful spinner base, and so that's the Diderot effect. So Diderot, Denis Diderot, I think is his name. He was a French philosopher way back when, and he got a beautiful red velvet robe. And then he looked around his closet and everything else started to look shabby. So before he knew it, he replaced all his clothes. And then his furniture started to kind of look out of sync. So he replaced his furniture. Anyway, that's the story. And that's kind of how I like to think about the green stock is you get one thing and then before you know it, all kinds of things are sort of attaching itself around it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Green stock accessories, which ones you really should be getting, in my opinion, or in you guys' opinion, definitely leave in the chat as well. And which ones are kind of nice to have, but certainly very nice to have, right? So anyway, let me know. I'm looking in the chat here. Oh, hi, Irony. What? Irony 11. Yeah, hi. First one, Leanne, you bought your first green stock. You know what's going to happen now, right? Before you know it, you're going to have 28 green stocks. So that's just kind of how it works. Nisha says that she is still waiting on her last 4 orders. Yeah, they're seriously backed up. I think they didn't even expect the warehouse sale to really take off the way that it did. If you're not on their email list, you really should get on their email list. They announced the sale, or at least they opened it up for people that were on their email list one day before, and people had like set their alarms. Things started to run out even before the sale started officially. So yeah, get on their email list. And that's also, in light of the upcoming DoorBusters sale, the people that are on the email list are going to be informed of what's coming on sale before everybody else. So you definitely want to get on their list. Hi, Deb. Deb calling in from Nebraska. So nice to see you on the chat. Who else do we have here? Jeannie? Gian? I don't know how you pronounce your name. Sorry. From my sister's daughter is Jeanne, and she pronounces her name Gian. So that's how I always pronounce it. But I think it's like Genie or something. Don't know. Anyway, if you can type in the phonetics of your pronunciation, that'll be great. And hello, you bought a pink one which shipped last week. Awesome. I don't have the pink one. My problem, I should have got the pink one. So I've started thinking about how I want to kind of organize the colors, because when I first started with green stocks, it was all all terracotta. And that's all I ever wanted because I'm kind of boring that way. And then terracotta became a limited color and I was so sad. And then raspberry came along, right? And oh my gosh, I loved raspberry so much. So I got the buy one, get one. I got the 5+3 and I made it into 4+4. And then more and more colors started coming out. And then I was kind of just hooked. But one thing that I noticed was because I use well water to water my plants, the hard water stains are just crazy on the darker colors. It's just ugly. And I use vinegar, a really strong application of vinegar to take it off. And it's just a real pain. So I decided that going forward, I'm going to kind of try to focus on the lighter colors. But I don't want to miss out on the darker colors, right? So I'm going to get the darker colors for my seed starting. So I've got the blackberry over here. And the nice thing about the seed starting kits is because of the soil color, they don't actually show dirt as much on the darker colors. On the other hand, something like this, it shows dirt. So this is the pink. And yeah, so that's the problem for me. That's not a big problem. I just sort of wash it, run my hose thing on it and wash it off. But for the seed starting trays, it's a little more tricky to remove the dirt. I've got to water it from the top and kind of have the dirt splash off along the sides. So I figured I'll get darker colors for my seed starting trays and I'll get the lighter colors for my GreenStalks. I missed out on the pink sale. But yeah, I'm curious about you guys. Do you have like a color scheme that you're going for? At one point, I wanted earth tones, right? All earth tones. And then I was like, maybe I'll do all pastels. And now I'm totally confused. I don't have any strategy at all other than maybe lighter colors versus darker colors for my GreenStalks. But I'm curious, do you guys have any strategy around your colors or you just want every single color that GreenStalk ever produced? I know that there are people, you see them in the GreenStalk Gardeners Facebook group. They've got like stacks and stacks of GreenStalks and they've caught up on I think there's like 17 colors so far and they've caught up on everything, including the ones that are like special order through Epic Gardening. They've got a special color. So they're collecting everything, which is so cool. I don't think I'll ever do that. I don't think I can handle that many GreenStalks, frankly, but never say never, right? Let's see, what else is going on here? Amy Gartner says, Dumont Sand Dunes on vacation. Couldn't miss this live feed. Thank you for calling in on vacation. That is so sweet of you and makes me feel really good that you actually appreciate these live streams. That's awesome. Leanne says, hi from South Carolina. I dream of Jeannie. That's how you pronounce your name. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair. That used to be one of my dad's favorite songs. Yeah. Anyway, rest in peace, Dad. So Deb Weber says she started out with just green and then I inspired you to get more colors. Okay, now I'm feeling, I don't know whether I'm feeling guilty or excited. And now you're mixing colors. Okay. So I have never done that yet, you guys. I look at everybody mixing colors and I'm like, is this for me? Is it gonna kind of mess with my head if I mix too many colors? But I'm going to be dropping a video on Monday, so stay tuned for that. I can't reveal the details because I'm not supposed to talk about it until Monday, and I'll tell you in the video why. But yeah, I'm going to be mixing colors for the first time, and the reason is there's a new color. I don't know whether some of you guys have seen the videos that GreenStalk has posted, but there's new color or colors coming up in December. So let me know in the chat below whether you have seen a sneak peek that they kind of, I don't know, maybe revealed accidentally on purpose. I'm sure it was on purpose. But yeah, excited about the new colors as well that are coming up. And I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity to do some mixing and matching just to kind of see whether I can handle it. Hello from Alabama. I guess it's nice and warm still over there. I've got an Instagram friend that I follow in Alabama, and it's very humid over there. But yeah, so many things still growing in her beautiful Alabama garden. one couple has over 65. I saw one couple that had like 52 at one point, but I'm guessing that after the sale, they have upped that number. So now they're at 65. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know how people handle 65 green stalks. I live in a climate where I'm gardening year round, so my green stalks are always like really, I push them to the hardest, and I have to kind of restack them once a year or so because the saucers, the little gray discs in between, they tend to get clogged up if I don't do it at least once a year or so. But maybe there are some climates where you can go for years and years without really having to unstack them. I don't know. I just feel that the drainage and the irrigation works much better if at least once every couple of years you restack it. And if I've got 65 green stalks, I have no idea how I'm going to do that. Someone calling in from India. It's 10:30 at night. Oh my gosh. Um, 4 years growing saffron journey. Oh yeah. Now is saffron time, you guys. If you guys have heard about saffron, it's the world's most exotic and expensive spice. And I can't even describe the flavor of it. It's kind of floral, just perfumey, just delicious. And it's very, very popular in Indian cuisine. And I started growing saffron 4 years ago. Actually, this is my fifth season. And it's just been a crazy, interesting experience of every year how saffron behaved a little bit differently and kind of learning it on the job, so to speak. But yeah, this year I'm already at 100 blooms. I did a little reel that I'm going to post tomorrow, but I'm at 100 blooms and counting. I am hoping to get to at least 167, which is how many saffron blooms it takes to make 1 gram of saffron, which is like that much, right? It's the stigma, the orange stigma of saffron that is the spice. And it is just, I can't even describe the flavor. It's just exotic and delicious. Let's see. Well, thank you for calling in from India. I so appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Uh, Deb can't wait to see how I mix. It's looking really good. I'll leave it at that. It's looking really nice. And I've got a whole bunch of, what's it called? Pansies, violas, I've got chrysanthemums. It's going to be all flowers. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous. I just can't wait to get that set up and to share it with you guys on Monday. Oh, okay. So you're trying Hardik, you're trying to grow saffron in Gujarat, India. So fun fact, my husband's from Gujarat, India. And yeah, we just love our saffron there. So anyway, move on from the saffron topic because we want to talk about GreenStalk accessories, right? But Kara says that she's got saffron bloom. You're growing it in your GreenStalk? Okay. This is new for me. So saffron is one of those things that actually thrives in Mediterranean climates. Sorry, I just have to say this one thing. So very, very hot, dry summers, and then winters that are kind of short and rainy. That's saffron's favorite climate, right? Cool, mild winters. But if you're growing it in your GreenStalk, I would imagine that you have to put your GreenStalk away for the entire summer, unless you're digging it up from your GreenStalk and storing it during the summertime while it's dormant. But yeah, saffron and the GreenStalk, it must look so pretty if it's blooming, depending on the color of the GreenStalk as well. I'm sure it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm thinking blackberry GreenStalk with saffron blooms. Oh, anyway, they don't have an orange GreenStalk, do they? I don't remember. They've got like rusted red, but I haven't seen orange yet. So anyway, future color potentially. Yeah, Irony says maintaining 65 green stocks would be nuts. I'm sure they've got a system in place. And speaking of that, let's actually talk about some of the accessories, because I think when you get to a certain number of green stocks, I'd say roughly 4 or 5 green stocks, there's no way you're going to be watering it by hand, right? You've got to set up irrigation. So if you look at my green stocks, I actually DIY'd my irrigation. It is relatively straightforward to do if you've got handy person skills, or you've got a husband like I do that will do it for you, or a spouse or a partner or a friend who will do it for you. But it's really easy to do. The problem is if you've got only like 1 or 2 green stocks, I don't really recommend it, because there's all these little fittings that you have to get. You've got to get the elbow, you've got to get the little on-off thing, you've got to get obviously the distribution, the 1/2-inch distribution tubing. So there's so many parts that you need to get, And then each of them, if you have to buy them, you can buy the individual parts, or you can buy them in a bag of like 10, 20, whatever. And then, if you're not really using it, I do irrigation all over my garden, so for me it's not a waste at all. I go through those parts like crazy. But if you're getting it only for a couple of GreenStalks, I don't think it's worth your effort to or money to buy in bulk and then set up irrigation only for two. You might as well just get what GreenStalk sells. I think it's pretty economical and it's all in one thing. And of course, whenever you buy it from GreenStalk versus DIYing it, I think GreenStalk just does a stellar job of packaging it, so it all sort of looks nice and syncs together properly. So yeah, irrigation is something that I think was night and day the biggest differentiator for my GreenStalks, from going from meh, okay to amazing, right? So if you don't have irrigation, I highly recommend you install it, even for a couple, because it's if there's anything I hate about managing my GreenStalks, it's watering them. It's just, yeah, I just don't enjoy watering my GreenStalks. Maybe some people find it therapeutic. All the power to you, but for me, no. I'd rather spend my time enjoying the GreenStalk and doing stuff to make it look beautiful than to stand over there with the hose, right? So yeah, irrigation. Again, I'm not really sharing what they will have at the 12 Days of DoorBusters. We're just going to talk through the popular accessories that they have, and we'll see if any of those show up. But I do think that they will, I'm hoping that they will announce what's on the sale day by day before the sale actually starts, so that we can plan what we want to purchase better. So let me just look real quick at the comments here. Hi from Ohio. Hi, Darla. Darla the Diva. Hi from Ohio. Must be getting cold over there, huh? Nisha's got peppercorn, blackberry, luscious green, glacier blue, cherry blossom, and a random red tear. I end up with things like that as well. I've got when I was doing the terracotta thing, because I was kind of planning ahead because I'm going to have all these terracottas, right? I got a whole bunch of those little reservoirs on the top, and then they took terracotta off, and then I kind of moved on to other colors. So now I've got all these reservoirs that I'm using as planters for random things. But they're good, sturdy, UV safe kind of things. So I enjoy growing things in them. Erica says she's got 2 GreenStalks. Oh, nice. Yeah, start off with 2. Get the feel of it, get the hang of it. I'd say, wait a little while, but don't let me bias you one way or the other. But I really waited at least a couple of years before I really started stacking up the GreenStalks, because there is a learning curve associated with GreenStalk. And if you don't really spend the time to learn how all kinds of different things do in your GreenStalk, how the irrigation works, you could end up getting very frustrated if you feel that things are not growing well. And soil, I mean, you got to get the soil right. If you don't get the soil right, forget it. Whoa, sorry. Every time I do this under this oak tree, the squirrels are throwing acorns at my head. They don't like me doing live streams, so I'm going to have to find a different spot for next time. So yeah, I hope I don't pass out in front of the camera. I'll call 911 or something if that happens. Let's see. Cheryl Reddick, happy to catch you live. I'm in the Bay Area. Hey, neighbor. Yeah, it's a lovely day today over here in the Bay Area. I think it's 60-something degrees this morning. It's going to be in the mid-70s where I am in the middle of the day. It's just absolutely lovely. And a lot of people don't do fall gardening because they're just kind of burned out, or maybe that climate doesn't permit it. But here in the Bay Area, we can garden year round, right? And for me, fall gardening is really the best gardening because you don't have to water as much, the pest pressure is less, things just grow, right? So this year I'm very seriously growing a fall garden, not necessarily in my GreenStalks. My GreenStalks definitely have all kinds of lovely greens and things going in them as well, but in different parts of my garden, I'm doing broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, all kinds of flowers. I'm just going crazy with my fall garden this year and having so much fun, because the only work that is involved is kind of just planting them, and then they sort of take care of themselves. Yeah, beets I'm growing as well, and they're just growing phenomenally. And I did it a little earlier this year. I started the seeds. I start everything from seeds usually. And I started the seeds in kind of like the August timeframe, August, September, when it was still really hot outside. And those seedlings sprouted and grew so fast. And then I got them in the garden. And then I kind of waited a couple of weeks and got a next batch in. And it's just a dramatic difference in size and speed of growth when you get it in a little bit earlier. So that's a little tip for you guys who live in the warmer climates. Get your seeds going earlier, like August, September. Get it in the ground, watch them grow, and then maybe you'll even get broccoli and cauliflower for your Thanksgiving dinner, or at least Christmas, right? So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun growing my fall garden this year. Anyone else growing a fall garden? I'm just curious, or is everyone just sort of burnt out with with all the summer activity? Hi, Nikki's here. First of all, ha ha he he. That's your name. She was the winner of the GreenStalk giveaway last year. So hopefully you got that set up, Nikki, and that you're growing something fun in it. And by the way, speaking of giveaways, you guys, there is a giveaway that I've still got going on. It's actually for another product. It's a Vago Garden citrus planter. It's an awesome citrus planter. It's self-watering and rolling. You can push it around anywhere, so you can kind of move it off into a warmer part of your garden during winter or indoors or whatever. But it's a great planter. I've got two of those. I've got one growing dragon fruit, and I've got one that I just planted up with citrus. So that giveaway ends on November 3rd. So go check my channel. I'll put a little reminder in the posts as well. But yeah, all you need to do is comment on the video where I showcase the planter. And yeah, you got to follow me, obviously, like the video, usual stuff. And you should be able to get in the giveaway, which will be announced on November 4th. So go do that. Don't forget to do that. Let's see, who else? Claire. Hey, Claire won my first giveaway. I remember you. You've changed your YouTube handle, have you? Now you're called Claire Cake Studio. Remember, that's you're talking about it here. Remember, I won a 3-tier earlier this year. Thanks very much. I have lavender, green, and yellow, and maybe I'll get new ones. Oh, lavender, green, and yellow. What a lovely combination that is. Erica has lilac and cherry blossom. Oh my goodness, you guys, such pretty colors. I'm going crazy here. And oh, Nikki, you're copying my blueprint for the GreenStalk irrigation. So yeah, just a little tip for you guys. So I've got a video out there, and go out and check. It's not that old. It's probably a couple of months ago that I put that video together, where I set up irrigation in each of the GreenStalk tiers, because I was having a problem where there was uneven watering, and the top one was drying out and the bottom one was getting waterlogged, whatever. So I put irrigation in each of the tiers, and it's working really, really well. I think those 2 GreenStalks or 3 GreenStalks that I set it up, they performed even better than the other ones. And I've got irrigation on pretty much most of my GreenStalks. The only thing that I will tell you is in that video, the way that I show you how to do it is I have actually threaded a 1/4-inch tube through the GreenStalks. I picked one of the drainage holes, not the middle one of the side drainage holes, and I sent it through. When you're restacking the GreenStalks, is a real pain because you gotta pull it out. So if you don't mind having the 1/4-inch tube outside your GreenStalk, that'll be so much easier than I was trying to make it look pretty and not obvious, so that's why I threaded it through. But I think that was not a very good idea. But the irrigation was a very good idea, right? So the 1/4-inch tube and little drip heads, I put them in 3 of the 6 pockets, worked absolutely gangbusters, and my veggies did so well in summer. Chartreuse colored one. That would be absolutely lovely. That's what Yesim Napi says. So funny to pronounce these YouTube things, and I obviously do it all wrong. How often do I water the GreenStalks during this season? Like I said, I have irrigation, so I am watering. Actually, I don't need to water it more than maybe 3 times a week. But that being said, I have actually not yet turned off my irrigation, so I need to do that. So thanks for that reminder. So I need to not cancel my irrigation altogether, but I need to actually seriously reduce it. But speaking of irrigation, there is one more thing that GreenStalk sells along, which not along with the irrigation kit, but separately. That's the timer. And I think at least at one point it was Rain Point, the brand, which is actually the one that I have. Works really well, by the way. But yeah, a timer is essential if you're setting up irrigation, because yeah, you don't want to go and have to turn it on and turn it off. Actually, that kind of defeats the purpose of the irrigation altogether, right? So you don't have to buy GreenStalks. You can buy it on Amazon. Or wherever your favorite online shopping place is. But yeah, a timer. If you're getting irrigation, definitely I recommend getting the timer as well. My GreenStalks are set up on a different irrigation zone. So if you've got multiple places that you want to send water to, I recommend that you get timers with two or three outlet points, so you can set up all of them for different time slots. And I water only for like maybe 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes in the afternoon during the heat of summer, and that's usually sufficient. And I actually had a really great experience with my raspberry GreenStalks that I've got in a different part of my garden. I grew only flowers in it. I did not water, you guys, I did not water at all season long. I didn't do pocket watering, nothing. And everything grew, everything went crazy. In fact, they grew so large and so wide. They're 4-tier GreenStalks. They were wider than they were tall. That's how well they grew without any interference from me at all. I didn't give them fertilizer either, but it's flowers, so you don't really need to fertilize them that much. But yeah, they grew so well that for a long time I was scared to do anything with them because there were birds' nests in there, and yeah, it was just out of control. There's something about growing too well, right? But anyway, now I've pruned them back drastically, and hopefully they're going to look pretty again. But yeah, absolutely no watering, no effort at all with those GreenStalks, and everything grew really well. Now with vegetables, you are going to have to you are going to have to fertilize more regularly. With flowers, doesn't really matter as much. And the rains, I think, bring in some nitrogen as well when we had those. But yeah, with vegetables, you can't just let them go on autopilot, though you can let the irrigation go on autopilot just as long as you're not getting clogged up stuff in between. And that's why I refresh them at least once a year. I don't want any drainage issues with my GreenStalk. Let's see what else. Suzanne Pinkston has 7. Yes, and I'm sure you're going to get more. Leanne has 4 green and got a raspberry and rusted red. I always wanted to get that rusted red. At least it's not one of those colors that's gone away forever, right? So black went away forever. I would have loved to have gotten black because I wanted to do black and yellow, but kind of missed the opportunity. I want to do the bumblebee color. So, oh well. Just going to have more color combinations. Chat in the comments with me about what color combinations you like, you're hoping to put together, or that you've got already that you really, really love. Oh, Leanne, so you're growing onions in your GreenStalk this year? So I'm growing onions for the first time this fall. I grow onions every year, and I usually buy my onions as starts from Dixondale Farms, and I'm getting that as well. But I started from from seed as well, and I planted them in the GreenStalk, and they're short day. I think they're short day onions. I got to go back and double check. But yeah, I'm keen to see how they do, because onions need water. They need regular water, and the GreenStalks, I make sure that they get regular water, and they need regular fertilizer. And my GreenStalks always get regular fertilizer, at least the ones that have veggies in them. So I'm hoping that the onions will do well. What I really struggled with onions is it feels like such a waste, right? Because if you're growing the larger size onions, you got to put only 1 per pocket. And I've got a few, what's it called? The leaf tier. And so I've planted it in those. And I'm like, do I really want to plant a whole onion in regular, the original tier? It feels like a waste, right? So much soil to plant just 1 onion per pocket. But maybe I'll do that, because I'm doing an experiment where this year, at least this season, I'm trying to grow more sort of mono type of GreenStalks. In other words, the kind of crop that I'm growing is going to be like either a single family or a single type of crop. So brassicas, as an example, I've got over here, I've got a whole tower that's dedicated to brassicas. Yeah, I know I've snuck a sweet alyssum in there as well, but I love flowers in my GreenStalk. But I'm trying to see whether mix and match, because that's what I've been doing all this time, all kinds of different things growing in the GreenStalk. The only thing I focus on is making sure that they've got similar watering needs. But other than that, I've been going crazy putting all kinds of fun stuff, and it's worked really well. But I'm wondering whether it'll work even better if I actually focus green stalks on a particular kind of crop. And brassicas are the ones that I'm really interested to see how they do. So cabbage, cauliflower, and stuff, because my experience with the green stalk and growing these large cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli thing, they don't do as well as they do in the rest of my garden. I'm wondering whether it's because it's just, I'm not giving them enough soil, or I'm not really sure why. The plant grows nice and big, but the flower itself does not grow as large as it grows in my raised bed. So we'll see. I'm wondering whether putting a single crop is going to make a difference. But you guys let me know what your thoughts are, if you've ever grown a very large cauliflower, cabbage, or broccoli head in your green stock, and any tips or tricks that you may have for me to grow successfully as well, or for all of us to grow successfully. All right. Let's. I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If there was only one accessory that you could buy at the upcoming, hopefully it'll be on the DoorBusters sale, what would that accessory be? So put it in the comments below. I know what you guys are going to say, but I want to talk about that in particular. Let me see whether anyone is sharing. But while we're doing that, I actually want to talk about a couple of other accessories that you might want to think about. Oh, and by the way, I was poking around in the GreenStalk site today. Even though the warehouse sale is over, if you go to the clearance section, they've got a lot of the retired colors, but the single, it's mostly basket weave, single, what's it called, tier, right? So I think they've got leaf as well as original. So if you've missed out on buying a GreenStalk color that you really, really want, go check it out. They may still have it, and it's great. The price is great. I think it's at least 50% off for a lot of those limited, or actually the retired colors. And so there are still retired colors over there. I mean, you'll have to buy everything to make a GreenStalk, right? So I think it may be a wash, or it may be a little bit more expensive than their sale prices if you actually have to build it yourself. But you're going to have to get the little gray discs that go in between, and those are not on sale. Then you're going to have to get the reservoir on the top. So yeah, the reservoir, the gray discs, you're going to have to figure out. And one thing that I was looking at was the reservoirs are also on sale, but you may not get the color that you want, right? So if you're building, say, a black GreenStalk, I don't know whether black's a peppercorn GreenStalk, I don't know whether the reservoir is peppercorn, whether you'll be able to get it all in the same color. So you may have to do some mix and match if you're okay with that. So anyway, I'm definitely getting used to the idea of mix and match, because my new GreenStalk is looking pretty awesome. Let's see. Spinner with wheels, frost cover, spinner base, spinner, the covers. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, so the spinners. So let's talk about those. So you've got the mover, which is, you can't really spin it as easily, but I've got both. So I've got the movers as well as the spinners, and I've got the spinners with wheels too. The movers really hold the GreenStalk very tight. So if you are in a place where it's at risk of toppling, windy, whatever, the movers, maybe if you're okay with sort of doing a little bit of this to turn it and get the sunshine, the movers might be a good choice. The movers also they don't come with, but you can optionally buy a little drainage tray underneath that will help catch the water. So that's kind of helpful if you're putting your GreenStalks on a surface that you don't want to get wet, right? So that's with the movers. I'm not a big fan of the movers, I'll just be honest. I love my spinner bases, right? I love spinning my GreenStalks with just one finger. That's how smooth the spinner base is. So now the spinner with wheels, yeah, it moves well, not as well as the mover, I'd say, but yeah, you can definitely move it. I always recommend that you have someone with you helping when you move the GreenStalks. I can't tell you how many times I've toppled mine and regretted it and then done it again. But yeah, if you can get somebody to help you, particularly if you're using the spinner, because that doesn't move as sturdily, doesn't hold the GreenStalk as sturdily as the mover does, right? But yeah, the spinner base is awesome. and the spinner with wheels works great as well, right? I think that's probably one of the best inventions that GreenStalk has, other than the planter itself, is that spinner base. I started off, for those of you that are following my channel, you know this. I started off by buying, what I thought were cheaper equivalents on Amazon, and yeah, they just don't work, you guys. The GreenStalk is a very heavy planter, and those planters that you get, you may be able to get something for $20 or $25, but they cannot hold the weight of the GreenStalk. So the wheels started to disintegrate. It toppled so many times. Oh my goodness! I bought like 5 or 6 of them, and then I just got rid of all of them, and I replaced everything with the spinner base with wheels, because yeah, just don't waste your money, right? That's one of those things I'd say. Don't waste your money on what you can buy on Amazon, unless you're really sure that it's a super sturdy thing, in which case it's probably going to cost you about the same as the GreenStalk spinner base would. So yeah, don't waste your money on that. Get the spinner base, and hopefully they're going to have it at the doorbuster sale, because I think a lot of people are waiting for that. Yeah, netting is the other thing that I really love. So I've got the insect netting. I opened it up a little bit over here. It's really sturdy. So I've bought the equivalent. I like to do the little experimentation with what you can buy online. The GreenStalk material for the insect netting is really strong and sturdy, right? I mean, you can feel how strong it is, and the zipper, super smooth. So again, I love my insect netting. I've only got this. I don't have the frost. If you guys have got the frost cover, let me know in the comments and what you think of it. But yeah, that is really good. I mean, worth spending your money on as well. And then let me just check the comments to see whether yeah, the spinner without wheels. Yeah, the spinner without wheels is great if you're not intending to move your GreenStalk. In fact, I've got my GreenStalks over here for several years, and they're standing on these little concrete, what's it called, little tiles that you can buy. Get the larger size tile if possible. I've got the 12-inch. I think it's 12-inch by 12-inch, and that barely fits the GreenStalk. And then I've got the wheels on it. So I've actually locked the wheels because I don't want it sort of slipping off. But if you're not going to be moving your GreenStalk, don't bother to get the wheels. The wheels are, the ultimate spinner comes with the spinner as well as the wheels, right? And usually what I've seen it when it's been on sale, it's usually, I think, $60 for the spinner plus the wheels, which is called the ultimate spinner. But you can actually get it for $40, I think is how low I've seen it. When they're on sale, and those go on sale a few times a year. So, but I do recommend, if it does come up in the upcoming sale, get it quickly. I know, like, as you can see, even in the people that are attending this live stream, a lot of people are going to be buying the spinner, and plus, so get on it. I hope they will publish the list of what they are going to be selling beforehand, so that you can plan for it accordingly. But yeah, get on it like first thing in the morning, as soon as the sale of the day opens, and get it, because I have a feeling they're going to run out of spinners and spinner bases. So that's probably going to be one of the most popular ones. And netting as well. They run out of netting pretty frequently. I've seen that happen quite a bit. So if those are the things that you're looking for, yeah, get on it quick. Set your alarm. Wake up early. Let's see, what else? So some of the other things that I really love, let me see if I've got them here. I do. The trellis, you guys. So this is actually a pretty recent product that GreenStalk put out. I really like this. So a lot of people that you see on like the GreenStalk Gardener group, they've used this. I hate this. I don't like it. I think the nice thing about this, I think they're called sheep horn or something like that. You can put these one inside the other. So you can do this, but they are so flimsy. And the other thing is, yeah, they don't have very long legs. So they come out all the time, right? And then the third thing that I don't like about these, you can actually tell. I've had these only for about maybe 3-4 months or so. I can already feel that it's kind of getting brittle. So I don't know whether this has sufficient UV protection. Don't waste your money on these, you guys. I think it's a little bit of a wash, especially if you can get it on sale. Get these. These are so sturdy. And then these you can also put in. So I've got petunias growing in one of my GreenStalks, and they are really heavy plants when they grow a little bigger, and very brittle. So they kind of grow heavy, and they do this, and then the stems start to break. I put this thing in, and it's almost like my petunias were breathing a sigh of relief, right? So grateful for putting this in, and this pushed the whole thing up and held it so firm. And you can slide that in after you've got the plants well established also, because it's got this, you can easily slide it in. It's great, you guys. And then the other thing about this is it transitions very nicely. If you've got a plant support in the tier above, it transitions nicely into that. Now, plant supports are not exactly my favorite accessory. They're okay. I want to try them actually to see whether I can do a cucumber thing going around it in summer. But yeah, I don't like the fact that I don't break them, but they kind of break off. Not break, they don't break, but the joints, they come apart pretty easily for me. And then they also make the GreenStalk occupy a lot of space. I like to pack my GreenStalks close together. So yeah, but so I'd rather just put a stake or something in there to make the equivalent of that. But yeah, the plant supports are great also for the insect netting, because they keep the netting away from the GreenStalk, right? They don't let it fall on the plant. So this one plus the plant support, they just work perfectly together, and they look so pretty. That's the thing. All GreenStalk stuff, high quality, and they look so pretty, right? So, oh my gosh, Claire, you plant stuff in your reservoir. So I'm guessing then you actually water by hand, the pockets. But that must look so cute with having those plants on the topmost tier. I've often thought about that, but then, no, I rather use the irrigation. So that's so cool. Hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button, please. I would so appreciate it. You know what's interesting about the like button? I don't know whether all of you guys know. So yeah, for sure, it helps the video itself. It helps the video spread, but it also helps the YouTube algorithm tune the content that you receive. So if you like my video, it'll start showing you more videos that are kind of similar to this kind of content, so you can get more exposure to it. And it also helps the YouTube algorithm find other people that like this kind of content and share it with them. So because you guys have been liking my videos, I'm actually getting more followers and subscribers that are finding my videos, because YouTube is now learning better that Green Love One likes to make GreenStalk videos. So it's going out there, and it's looking around for people that have GreenStalks, and I'm getting a lot of new followers as a result of that. And we're all sort of learning and growing together. So I really, really appreciate it if you guys hit that like button. Thank you so much for the reminder. Peace in my garden. Yeah, so shipping is going to be the issue with the DoorBusters. I'm sure I'll get free shipping when I get the spinner bases, but the other day, so I'm not sure whether you mean shipping as in the cost of shipping. So if I remember correctly, and you guys put in the comments if you remember if I'm wrong, but last year for Black Friday, shipping was actually free. Now, my guess is that it's probably going to be not $150, right? It's probably going to be much less, because a lot of people are going to be buying smaller things. So say, for example, if they put the seed houses on sale, speaking of which, another one of my very, very favorite accessories, and we talk about this. I mean, this is not terribly expensive. This is like $8 full price. But if it does go on sale, how do you get enough stuff to make $150, right? So my guess is they're not going to do that. They're probably going to lower the limit for free shipping. It's probably going to be either free shipping completely, or it's going to be a much smaller dollar amount, is what my guess is. But we'll see. So yeah, remind me, was Black Friday like free on all items? Shipping was free on all items, or was it like a much lower, like $50 or something like that? I don't quite remember. Oh, so yeah. Correct, free. Nikki says that it was free. So yeah, so they have done that, and I don't know. But just remember that free doesn't really mean free, right? Free means someone is paying for it. And guess who? If you're not paying for it, GreenStalk is paying for it. So, and they're a lovely family business, small company, growing, but they're still a small family business, and all-American company, and I really, really love to support their growth, because they're bringing us so much joy, right? So yeah, just think about that. If it's not too terribly expensive to pay for shipping, it'll save GreenStalk some dollars, right? So Anyway, they've also lowered it to 50. I've seen it lowered to $50 many times in the past as well. And yeah, if you do miss out on the spinner bases, just know that they do put that on sale. At least this year, they've put it on sale at least a couple of times, right? So if you miss it one time, you can probably get it again. The problem is once you've already set up your GreenStalk, then stacking it, unstacking it to put that spinner base underneath it is a real pain, and you'll have to probably do it between shifts, so to speak. So yeah, I was talking about the seed houses. I love these, you guys. So when I initially got these, I got it mainly because I wanted to direct sow in my GreenStalk, and definitely came through on that. I've actually in the past I've got a video where I show my own version of this. It's not actually like this. It's a little piece of plastic, perforated plastic fabric, the one that you use to put on your like your outdoor chairs and stuff. So it's got a little bit of lets the sunshine in. But I cut those to the exact shape of each of the pockets, and I put those, and those worked well. The thing about those, you got to check to see whether the little seedlings are germinating, because once they start germinating, you want to take that off. This, on the other hand, yeah, it keeps the humidity in, it protects the little seedling thing, so you don't have to water as often. And for me, oh my gosh, the biggest benefit, you guys, it protects my little pockets from the squirrels. The squirrels at this time of year, they are digging everything in sight, right? They're digging and they're burying their acorns everywhere. I've got oak trees. So if you've got little critters that like to crawl into your GreenStalk, yeah, these are absolutely fantastic to protect them. And they're nice, sturdy plastic. And the little what are they called? The domes are made with the same material as well. So yeah, you can always count on GreenStalk quality, right? So yeah, I love these. I'm getting more of them actually, hopefully in the not too far future. Seed houses are definitely one of those things that I highly recommend. And let's see, the DIY soil videos. Yeah, my soil videos. I'm so glad you like them, April. I I think that's when people buy all these GreenStalks. There's the ditto effect, of course, that we talked about earlier, which is once you buy the GreenStalk, you got to buy the spinner base, you got to buy the netting, you got to buy the seed houses, you got to buy all of these things, right? So it's not just ooh the sale. I got 23 new GreenStalks. Now you got to fit them with all these other things, right? So that's the ditto effect. But the other thing that, and this is the main reason why I don't usually give GreenStalks as gifts, as first-time gifts, is the cost of the soil, right? So if you want to pick, if like the one singular thing that people get wrong, especially new GreenStalk owners get wrong, is the soil. And believe me, been there, done that, right? You have to get the soil right. And yeah, the main characteristics that you're looking for in the soil: lightness. This is an elevated planter, right? So gravity has a lot to do with it. You don't want the soil to compact down. And I always add perlite to my soil mixes. So lightness of the soil, the ability to hold on to water, but also drain, right? You don't want it to get thick and stick to the roots, but you also want it to drain properly, and you want it to be light, right? So getting that combination right is really important. And then of course you want the soil to be very fertile, nutrient dense. This is at the end of the day, it's 1 cubic foot of soil, and it doesn't have a lot of nutrition in it for all the things that we like to plant in a single tier. So make sure that your fertilization routine is you're on top of your game. Make sure that you're using very nutrient dense soil to begin with. I always add my homemade compost. I always add slow release fertilizer to it. And yeah, then just have fun. You don't have to buy Happy Frog. I don't know where people get Happy Frog for so cheap. I mean, people are like, hey, I got it for $14 from my local hydroponic store. I'm like, yeah, good for you. My hydroponic store doesn't do that, right? So yeah, get the soil right. You can actually get, I've actually done a video, and check it out when you get a chance. Miracle Grow versus my own DIY mix. But it wasn't really my own DIY mix. I made a big mistake in that DIY mix. But go check the video. I don't want to spend time in this thing talking about it. But you have to get the soil mix right. Even if it's Miracle Grow, if you're okay with using that, make sure that you're adding perlite to it. Make sure that you're adding some good slow release fertilizer, and then you should be good to go. if anyone, Brent and I, you're saying if anyone wants to give you soil as a gift, I would not be upset. It's the one thing that I hate having to buy. I hear you. Yeah, soil. That's why, like I was saying, I don't give green stocks as gifts unless I'm going to be adding on at least a $50 gift certificate for whoever it is receiving the gift to actually buy soil. Otherwise, they're stuck with this white elephant, right? That they're like, oh, and I have to buy all these other things, right? So yeah, buy a spinner base, buy a lid, and buy soil for them, and hopefully it's a really good friend or relative that you don't mind spending all that money on, right? So, so yeah, and the DIY mix, I just put a video out recently on 3 approaches to soil for your green stock, to how to fill your green stock. So check it out. I talk in much detail about my DIY mix and how I make it. All my green stocks do well. I know that my DIY mix is amazing. Sorry, I'm not being shy about this, but it's a really good recipe that I have. So check out my video, my very recent. I think it's the one that I published last week. On 3 approaches to filling your green stock with soil. But yeah, the DIY mix, the main problem with the DIY mix is mixing it, frankly. So yeah, I buy all of my ingredients in bulk, and then you gotta mix it all together, and then you gotta go in there with your hands or whatever. I actually have an auger, which is that electric tool that you can do it, but that's not as good as going in there with your hands. And then you're breathing this stuff. So yeah, DIY is not for everybody. That much I can tell you. So let's see, Daddy Pete's in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm so jealous. I shouldn't say that. I think you guys are lucky where you live in a climate where you've got a little bit of downtime, because soil goes on sale, right? Over here, California Bay Area, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, my California peeps on this chat here. I hardly ever see soil going on sale. Fertilizer, yeah, I've seen that going on sale, but soil, we garden year round over here. We don't get a break. So yeah, difficult to get soil. Squirrels, Suzanne, squirrels are killing your crops. I feel you. I feel you. This year we built a huge, I just got tired of it, you guys. I've got like 6 raised beds that are 12 feet by 4 feet that I completely did not do anything with this year, because everything I put in there, the squirrels were getting everything. I didn't get a single zucchini this year. It was so sad. So my husband and my son, I think they took pity on me finally, and they built a large, robust enclosure around all those 6 beds. And that's where I'm growing my fall garden this year. And everything is growing so well. I'm so grateful. So yeah, let's see. We've only got 9 minutes more. And I want to make sure that I cover all of the spring lid versus the garden lid. So if the lids do go on sale, you've got those 2 choices, right? If you've got irrigation, you're better off getting the spring lid. But if you do love the little bumblebee, go ahead and get the garden lid, because I love that bumblebee so much. So even though I do set up irrigation, you can kind of stick the tube of the irrigation into the leaf. You open up that leaf and you've got the little hole in there for the reservoir. Yeah, you can. It's not as elegant as the spring lid, but gosh, that spring lid, garden lid is so cute. So yeah, lids for me, they're a must. I'm sitting here under this oak tree and getting stoned by squirrels throwing acorns at me, and that happens with my green stalks as well. So yeah, they gunk up full of leaves and acorns if I don't have the lid, so I have to. And then I also have creepy crawlies that get into my reservoir if I leave them open. Birds build their nest as well. So yeah. Priscilla's garden, you just got here and missed so much. The good news is you can actually watch it in replay. So, but thank you for joining us. So appreciate it. And yeah, so the other things that you might want to consider, I'm looking, seed starting trays. Okay, so let's talk about seed starting trays in case they go on sale. So like I showed you guys earlier, I've got this seed starting tray. I go with the darker colors because I don't like to clean soil. But one of the things that people ask is, hey, these seed starting trays, will they fit on the standard indoor seed starting shelves that we have? So I've got what I consider the standard indoor shelves. So they're like 4 feet wide, and I think they're like 20 inches, no, 4 feet, wide and 20 inches this way, right? So that's kind of how they are, and they will fit the 10-20 trays. So the 10-20 trays, I don't know, I can't see any, but yeah, it's 10 and 20 inches by 10 inches is the size of the standard trays that you get out there for the most part. You can actually put 2 of them horizontally, or you can put 4 of them kind of vertically on that. And these GreenStalk seed starting trays, they fit perfectly in those because they are like 19 and a half inches, I think, is the square. They're a square, right? So they're about 19 and a half inches. Are they a square? Almost a square. But yeah, you can fit 2 of these GreenStalk seed starting trays perfectly in the standard shelves. Now, the thing is, a lot of these manufacturers, the heat mats that are come on, they're all built for the 10-20 trays, right? So what I usually do is I have a whole bunch of heat mats. So I'm not going to buy new ones from GreenStalk, but I put them, instead of putting them horizontally, I put them vertically. So it covers the entire shelf, and I've got 4 heat mats kind of this way, and I can put 2 GreenStalk trays on it. So yeah, it works perfectly if you've got a standard shelf. Don't worry about that. The seed starting trays themselves, super high quality, just like GreenStalk. They are so adorable. Yeah, by the way, the pink one, this is what I mean by, yeah, kind of looks messy. The thing about these is these labels, they're a little bit difficult to kind of stick in here, right? Because it doesn't have that straight edge. GreenStalk actually has a whole bunch of those wooden little plant markers, plant labels that they're selling now that have a narrower base that you can stick into this. So if that's a big deal for you, then yeah, definitely get the plant markers. But I kind of do this. Works just fine and looks so sweet. So yeah, seed starting trays, I love them. I love the little carrying thing. I carry it all around when I'm trying to, when I'm replanting my stuff. So it's great. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, so I don't know whether they're going to have merch on sale. I've got my GreenStalk hat, which is awesome. But then they do have some other things. I talked about the label, the markers, but they've got labels. They've got a grow guide. They've got a journal. I recently got the journal actually, and it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna start using it. But the nice thing that I like about the journal is you can write by hand in it, right? So yes, I'm a techie, so I love my technology and I love journaling online. But guess what? After you're not gardening anymore, let's put it that way, whatever you've put in your digital notes, online journals, they're gone, right? No one's going to look at them. They're gone forever. However, if you use one of these, maybe your kids will find them someday, and maybe they will, you know, reminisce, or maybe your grandkids, right? I was actually in India, not in India, in Australia. My sister and brothers live in Australia. I was over there earlier this year, and they had a recipe book that my grandmother had written in, and oh my gosh, the yellowed pages and kind of going through them and looking at her handwriting. Yeah, I'm tearing up here. But yeah, it's very special to have a handwritten journal. So I love this, and I'm going to be using it for my next gardening season. So we are actually reaching close to the end here. Yeah, I want to just say about the Grow Guide. The nice thing about the Grow Guide, if you're a very experienced gardener, maybe it's not that useful for you, but if you're kind of a beginner to mid gardener, it's super useful, right? And Susie, who's the lead gardener at GreenStalk, she's the one that put the Grow Guide together. And she actually has a lot of little tips on, and these are all plants that grow well in the GreenStalk, by the way. So she's got a lot of tips, which are on Gardener's Notes section over here, which is her own personal experience of growing this in the GreenStalk, right? So you can actually learn firsthand from her experience, or secondhand from her experience, what's working and what you need to watch out for on the GreenStalk. So yeah, definitely highly recommend this growing guide. It's got most of the typical plants that you would grow in the GreenStalk. So anyway, I am going to wrap up. I want to be careful of your time here. Hey, you guys, I don't think I'm going to be doing a December first week live stream because, the holidays and all of that, and just want to ramp down. But we'll kick off bright and early in January again. I wish you all a happy holiday, and definitely I'll be putting posts. So let me know what you're purchasing at the DoorBusters sale. And yeah, love you all, and have a lovely rest of the week or new week. Take care. Bye-bye.